Hello and welcome to the Streamline and Shine podcast. My name is Steph Bolton and I am 1/3 of Bolton Virtual Solutions, a team made up of me, Mum, and my two daughters, Sam and Amy. Our family virtual assistant agency's absolute passion is helping time-poor female entrepreneurs with those ridiculously long to-do lists, because we all know how they get longer instead of shorter, so that they're able to focus on doing what they love. You're going to want to stick around if you find yourself constantly just doing this thing quickly instead of spending time with your family, or if you look at your list of tasks and feel like crying, or even if you're just simply wondering how to manage your time better and delegate to your team. We're going to be covering topics from social media to marketing, systems and processes to outsourcing, and so much more, so that you can see what's possible for you and your business. So let's get stuck in. Hello and welcome back to the Streamline and Shine podcast. And in this episode, I'm sharing the simple tech stack and systems that we use every day in the business. And they are Basecamp, WhatsApp, and a little something that I call the brain dump board. And this is the behind the scenes stuff that keeps our clients' projects moving, our team in sync, and my brain not spinning at 2 o'clock in the morning because I'm trying to remember what I've forgotten. So before we had any of these systems in place, every single day felt like a scramble because we were searching emails to find client notes. We were chasing updates across several different platforms, in all honesty, and we were winging it with task lists even that I wrote on post-it notes, different notebooks, one in my handbag, one on my phone, one on Sam's phone. Like things would get lost. So honestly, I actually thought we were being flexible and kind of low maintenance by not having structure, but the truth is that we were actually creating chaos for ourselves and our clients. So now things run like a well-oiled machine, not because we do everything perfectly, because nobody's perfect, no matter what they try and tell you, but because we use a few key tools consistently, and that is where the magic happens. So Basecamp, which is our control center, it's the brain of our business. It's where everything is stored. So we're going to start with this because it's the platform we use to manage all projects, all tasks, client info, and our internal team comms if we're not using WhatsApp, but we're going to come to that in a second. So why Basecamp? Because it's simple. Now, I've tried so many. I've tried Slack. I've tried Asana. I think there's one called Monday that I've tried. I've tried Todoist. Can't stand them. They're too messy for me. So there's no endless subtasks. There's no complicated folders. There's not 40 million integrations. It's just simple. And our clients can actually use it because it's clean, it's clear, it's not overwhelming for them either. And it keeps communication structured. No more, where did I say that again? Moments, because we know they happen. So what do we use it for? We use it for client onboarding and welcome packs. We use it for task management for VA and OBM retainers. We use it for strategy session follow-ups. And we also use it for content workflows and recurring processes within our business. So every Monday, I have a quick task set up in my Google Calendar that reminds me to check Basecamp, and then I go in and I clean up anything that's like loitering, hanging around, make sure everything's on track. That takes me 10 minutes and it gives me a big sense of control, like a massive sense of control. Part 2 is WhatsApp, and this gives us the human touch. So we're going to be honest here. Most business owners hate having to go into formal platforms for every single message. And I get it, because I'd be the same. And that is where WhatsApp comes in. So for our clients, we use WhatsApp for our day-to-day updates as and when needed. That's not every day. We don't need to speak to clients every day. But when we do, it's quick, it's easy, it's, what's the word I'm looking for? Cut this bit out, Aim. It's accessible. So quick questions and approvals. So if we've got a piece of content and a client wants to just double check that everything's as they wanted it to look, wanted it to sound like, we can send it in WhatsApp. Are you happy with this? Yes, that's absolutely great. Then we can schedule it. Done. And we can also use it for client voice notes, because sometimes typing just isn't it. Sometimes we could be in the car We could be sat in a doctor's waiting room waiting to be called in, and it's just easier to send a voice note. And we love receiving voice notes too, because we love chatting to our clients. But here's the key. WhatsApp is only effective with boundaries. Sorry to say it, but it is. So every client gets a simple communications guide when they start, and that includes our working hours and our time zone, because obviously if you've got international clients, you need to work out your time differences. We let them know our typical response time, and I've said this before, it's usually 24 hours within our working days. Okay, so if you message us on a Friday evening, likelihood is you're not going to hear back until Monday, but that's fine. And with whatever goes into WhatsApp is obviously not what goes into Basecamp. So we need to have a clear line so that our clients know what can be used in what Basecamp can be used for and what WhatsApp can be used for. So that way there's no blurred lines, there's no grey areas, there's no midnight messages, and there's no panicky, can you just energy, because we're not about that here. And it keeps us responsive but not available 24/7, because that is not the vibe. Okay, so part 3, the brain dump board. And this is my absolute sanity saver. This one's low tech, but it's very high impact. So every week I will get a notebook, okay? I'll write brain dump and the week starting date in the top. Okay, then I will throw in writing, scribbling, whatever. Every little single thought, task, idea, reminder buzzing around in my head. I need the brain space. I need the capacity, not only because I'm in my 40s now, but because I literally can't hold any more information up there unless I do this exercise. So even if it's something silly like email Sarah about login details, I will write it down. Even if it's check Canva folders, I will write it down. And then what I do is I categorize it. So I delegate it, I schedule it, I delete it, or I move it to like park it kind of thing. That can take 10 minutes, but I can't tell you how freeing it is to start a week with an empty-ish head and a clear view of what actually matters for the week ahead. So this is also the system that we recommend for clients who are overwhelmed. And even if it's not everything that they need to get out of their brain, like all the things they need to do or remember or think of, or, like the projects that they've got coming up and the massive task list that they've got that's going to come with it. Even if I had a strategy session with someone the other day and she hasn't got an email newsletter yet, she doesn't do email marketing so far, which is fine because she knows she needs to do it, and now she's taking action and she's doing it. And she didn't know what kind of vibe she wanted her newsletter to have. So what I told her to do, get a piece of paper. She's a creative, by the way. So I told her to get a piece of paper, whether it's A3, A2, A5, whatever works, okay? I told her to get a piece of paper and a pen and just write down things that she likes about newsletters that she receives, that she's signed up to, things she definitely doesn't want to put into hers, and any other ideas that she's had along the way. And she's now got a plan. So she was able to get all of the thoughts from going round in a big carousel in her head, write them down, and now she could see it clearly in front of her. And then she's like, right, I do want to do this. I don't want to do that. This is what's happening now. So, as I say, this is also what we recommend to clients when they're feeling overwhelmed with something or everything. It's going to help either way. And it's one of the first things that we set up in our OBM onboarding because it gives us clarity fast. So this is my little tip of the week, because I know you've been waiting for it. You didn't know it was coming, but you've been waiting for it. So you don't need to overhaul your entire system of tech. You just need 3 things. So a central home for tasks and projects. So we use Basecamp because it's our preferred platform. You've got Trello, you've got ClickUp, you've got Asana, I've mentioned loads of them. It's what works for you. So my opinion doesn't matter. That is just my opinion, but that's what works for us. So you go and find one that works for you, that you like the look of, that you can use easily, and that you can add things to in the way that you want to add them. Then you need a clear channel for fast communications. So like I said, we use WhatsApp with boundaries. And then you want a space to unload your brain. So it should be weekly, and it should be intentionally, and it should be without judgment. So because we do judge ourselves, like, let's not pretend that we don't, because we do. So 3 simple tools, but a big impact. If you're listening to this and thinking, I need this in my life, we can help. Our Supreme Strategy sessions are the perfect starting point to clean up your systems, simplify your communications, and give your brain a break. And if you're ready for ongoing OBM support, this is the first step we take with every client. Head to the show notes to book your session, and let's make your business easier to run. Okay, so you don't need 15 tools. You don't need color-coded dashboards. You don't need a tech degree to run a successful business. You just need tools that work for you and the discipline to use them consistently. Next week, we're diving into a juicy one. Is it time to upgrade your team? And if you're feeling stretched, stuck, or like you're managing more than you're leading, don't miss it. Until then, keep streamlining, keep shining, and keep it simple. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Streamline and Shine. If you have questions on what we covered inside, please feel free to reach out to us on Instagram at Bolton_virtual_solutions, or you can email us at teambolton@boltonvirtualsolutions.co.uk. We absolutely love hearing from our amazing community and are always here to support you. If you'd like to be interviewed on a future episode, please drop us an email letting us know which topic you'd like to speak about, and we'll get back to you. See you on the next episode, lovelies.